This is the tube flight adventure to Kharkiv in Ukraine. So then, here's the airplane landing, and there was no direct flights from England to Kharkiv. I had to get a Ryanair flight to Poland, then another flight from Poland to Kharkiv. And that's because very few tourists come here. Kharkiv is quite off the beaten track, which is precisely why I wanted to come here. Especially after watching videos by YouTubers like Bald and Bankrupt of going to really obscure places. There's something about an obscure place that makes it interesting. So here's the airplane landing. And here is the old Soviet airport terminal. Just look at that. That is so Soviet looking. There's now 3 terminals in Kharkiv airport. Terminal 1 is the new terminal, which is nowhere near capacity because there's not that many flights here. Terminal 2 is the old Soviet terminal. And Terminal 3 is another brand new terminal in the hope that Kharkiv will turn into the future tourist destination, which is not exactly happening. Around the airport are some very nice, well-lit buildings. So then, the next day, let's take a look around Kharkiv and let's go along to, obviously, the best thing you can do in a Soviet city, go to a Soviet tower block, which has some very awesome Soviet lifts. We have a smaller Soviet lift, Soviet Mark II. Never seen an indicator. Oh, stopworks are still open. The concierge gets a little bed. Paperwork there, no computer, get a kettle, very old looking fridge, torch. So that's what you get if you're a concierge of a Soviet bloc. And something that's quite surprising in this city is the large number of old people sitting around in the streets selling vegetables. And now I go into the next Soviet bloc, which is under renovation, and the old Soviet lifts have been replaced! Ooh. Modernised Soviet lift. I don't think it's going to be very interesting, but you'll see. Nah, logic's changed. Boring. By Soviet lift modernisation services. How do you open that bit? Hope it doesn't open. So notice on the Soviet staircase, it's a lot more gentle than what we're used to. It's very gentle. And now onto the roof of a Soviet bloc. That's what it's like on the roof of a Soviet bloc. Having renovations done on this one. They obviously want to turn this one into a more modern. This is the very top of your Soviet bloc. Now, let's take a look around the hotels of Kharkiv. In Kharkiv, there was none of the usual international hotel brands that you'd normally get in a city. This is because so few tourists actually come here. In fact, there was only one modern international looking hotel in Kharkiv. Everything else was quite a bit older. So let's go round the different hotels here and rate how Soviet they are. Let's go. The first one we go to is Hotel Kharkov. So then, Hotel Kharkov. It's an old Soviet building, but very heavily refurbished. Let's see how Soviet it is. Well, the lift is completely, utterly boring. I have nothing much to say about this lift, other than it's got a stop button. No, it doesn't work. So, lifts are boring. That clock and that bit under there's a bit Soviet looking. Doors, maybe. Yeah, it's been heavily refurbished. It was from that era, but refurbishment's been very, very heavy, so not that interesting. Well, the staircase area looks slightly more Soviet. It hasn't had a refurbishment, and you've got a nice, gentle staircase. This floor does a bit, because it's got wooden floor. Older style lights, now that's a new lighting style of. So with everything considered, especially these old looking seats, I would say this one's about 40% Soviet. And now along to this one that looks like it's in a non-Soviet 60s building. Interestingly, this hotel, Hotel Mir, looks very 70s international style, not 70s Soviet style. So let's go inside and see how Soviet it looks on the inside. Oh, and cancel floors. Okay. We've come into a 70s looking building, but it looks 70s more international style, not Soviet style. So let's see if there's anything Soviet in this hotel, but I don't think there will be. It looks, well, this is obviously replaced and quite boring. Can we cancel floors? 5. Oh, yes you can. And here on 12. Oh, that's a shit lift. Not too Soviet. Desk there looks slightly, maybe the clock. Those lights look a bit modern. Picture. Well, fire exit's locked. This is your fire exit, it doesn't open. So, it's very Soviet in that sense. Motor room is sadly locked. Well, I just got caught in the plant room, and I'm going to say this hotel is about 30% Soviet, so not very good. Let's find a better one. And along to the only posh hotel in Kharkiv, Kharkiv Palace. So here we have the brand new luxury deluxe 5-star Kharkiv Palace Hotel. Brand new, obviously it's going to be 0% Soviet, but it looks very interesting, so let's take a look around. And now along to Kharkiv Central Station. And the main stations in Ukraine are amazing. They are so over the top. This place is absolutely epic and completely Soviet. Let's take a look around this epic station. The central hall is the most over the top looking bit, and you get this board showing where the trains go to, which is very confusing to understand as a foreigner, especially since they don't show the upcoming departures, but it actually shows all the departures throughout the day. And out of the main hall there's several other halls, all looking very Soviet. This is just a Soviet classic. Everywhere you look is so Soviet looking. And now along to the train station hotel, which is absolute Soviet classic. This hotel is completely epic. I now regret not staying here. Take a look at this. Oh yes. bit bigger than a normal Soviet lift. Oh, very nice. Let's see, top floor, 18 doesn't exist. 18 doesn't exist, 17 doesn't exist, 16 doesn't exist, 15. Right. So 16 doesn't exist. They built these in batches. For some reason the Soviets could not custom build button panels with a number of floors. So often, or pretty much all the time, you get button panels with more floors on than you actually have. This is a posh Soviet lift. I've not actually seen one quite like this. It's bigger. It's got more features. Oh, that sounds good. Spooky. This hotel is completely Soviet. Everything is so Soviet looking. And just to add to the Sovietness, the fire exits are locked. That motor room, the open. Oh, it's locked. Oh, yes. Soviet. Oh, wow. That's what Soviet lift stuff looks like. This one's a bit modded, the other one's better. Nevertheless, that was the epicness in Soviet Hotel. That Soviet Hotel was absolutely, completely Soviet. The only bit that's not quite Soviet is this lift refurbishment. But other than that, I'm going to say that's like 95% Soviet. That was the ultimate in Sovietness. If you want a Soviet hotel, stay here. And now to the platforms of the central station, and let's take a look at the trains here. And like all of the central stations in Ukraine, it looks very dark and creepy. And the trains are so fascinating. The locomotive at the front of a train looks like two locomotives joined together. The trains stink of coal fires despite the fact it's an electric train. Steam train. And it's so antiquated, and the trains are really, really slow. If you just look at the times of how long it takes people to travel across the Ukraine, it's crazily slow. So let's now take a look at a train departing. I have no idea what the purpose of having that on the footbridge is. It works both directions and you just go through it. Oh well. And here is a modern train, and this kind of shows that Ukraine will eventually become modern. It won't be quick, it'll be many, many years, probably be the last Eastern European country to ever become modern, but it will happen, and it will lose its charm. So if you want to enjoy Ukraine, go and visit it now. And now we go along to a Soviet bloc at night. Now I thought a Soviet bloc at night could be a bit creepy. I was wrong. A Soviet bloc at night is very, very creepy. These are crazily spooky at night. Soviet blocks at night. With a weird slide at the bottom. So let's explore a Soviet bloc at night time. Creepy. Soviet lift, my favourite. Soviet Mark II. 18 does exist. Sometimes they put in buttons off non-existent floors. I don't think it does. 17. 16. Oh, 16 exists. Soviet classic. Creepy. First time being a Soviet bloc at night, actually. Fucking hell, a creeper at night, I actually thought I'd be. Fucking hell. He's actually creepier than I thought. I thought it'd be a bit creepy at night. I didn't think it'd be this creepy. Fucking hell, these are creepy. Oh dear, pigeon, I'm woken you up, have I? Pigeon. Soviet blocks are fucking creepy at night. I hope the camera's showing quite how creepy it is. Fucking hell, this is creepy. Most of the lights do not work. Imagine having to live in one of these. I mean, it's really fun for a video to talk about, but to actually live in a block like this, it's creepy as fuck. So you got Soviet blocks, each floor is slightly different. I wonder if the dispatch system works, because for relay lifts like these, they can't count floors, so it can't count and work out which lift's closer. So it has to use a simpler dispatch system based on which lift, even if one's in use, it'll give the other one. Should we try and make it free fall? Stop. Go. No, didn't free fall. So there's a set of 2 lifts with 1 button to call it, meaning it has to have a dispatch system, but it cannot count, it can't count which lift's closer to the floor. So it has to use a much simpler system for dispatch based on which lift's in use, which one's not in use, which one's in the direction that you want, and it literally does a couple of if statements like that, using car relays to work out which lift to send. And that's it, it can't count which lift's the closest lift. So dispatch systems using relays with 1 button to call both lifts are always a little bit inefficient. Nighttime trolley bus. Right, it's night time and I doubt you're going to be able to see this, but this is what I call a station, a suburban station. There is a railway track and there is a platform. And on the platform there is nothing. It's in the middle of nowhere. There's no timetable, there's no ticket office, there's nothing. It's literally just a platform that's barely a platform and a railway track. And that's what I call a suburban station. If you don't know when a train's coming, you're screwed. So then along to the hotel where I was staying. This hotel is a little hotel in one of the buildings and it costs just £11 per night. Now I've just got to show the hotel room. £11 per night, and you actually get a sink and a microwave in your hotel room. That is outstanding. How can they do it so cheap? And the bed looks rather Soviet and is a bit too short for me. And it's got some really great English. Attention, not to include bactericidal lamp. Let's try it out. Oh, what a nice purple glow. Let's use that as my nightlight. Actually not, I don't want ultraviolet burns. It's the first hotel room I've ever been in with an ultraviolet light. And I've brought some nice, whatever that says, bottles of apple juice. Or are these bottles of piss? Yeah, in the middle of the night I don't exactly want to go out to the communal toilet, so I just pissed in a bottle. Basically not, it's apple juice. So, that's it for part 1. Make sure you watch part 2, because in part 2 we'll be looking at loads more Soviet blocks. We'll be looking at a city centre, so make sure you check out part 2.
更了解